Morning, everyone. We are live on the teacher's table, unless you're catching this after the fact. So hopefully things are going well with everybody. If you are catching this after the fact, know that you can leave comments down below and join in the conversation. Share your ideas, share the things that you like, and hopefully soon, someday, you will be able to catch it with us live at the same time with the rest of us, because that would be awesome. We would love that. All right, guys. Let's see who we have here today. I'm so excited. We got Amanda Gray clocking in. That's awesome. Good morning. Hopefully your first week back there working in the classroom was all right. Carrie made it back. Your sketch notes are amazing. Angie, good to see you here. Kathy Sue, love seeing you. Regina, good morning to you. Natalia, good morning from Mexico City, making it international again. I dig it. Adam Marino, not quite internationally. He's in the same state as me, just up north. But a sunny day in the hive. I dig it. Let's see here. Jennifer Knox made it. Good morning. Sunny and hot day in Texas. No meetings today. That's awesome. Amanda, don't worry about it. I think it was awesome that you've tried to make it to as many events as you have. I really got to say, Teacher's Table group, I am like super honored at how much you guys have made it to these daily Teacher's Tables. It means a lot to me. And I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for being part of the Teacher's Table community. That's been awesome. All right, so just remember some of the etiquette things. If you guys could put at Mr. Matera when you're sort of being part of the conversation that I'm having so that I can see it come up, that would be awesome. And as always, welcome new people, as hopefully some more people join us this morning, this beautiful Saturday morning. It is a gorgeous day here in Wisconsin. Let's see here. All right, let's dive into it. So this is the teacher's table that we are processing yesterday's edu protocols. And these two, let me go on the speaker page here. These two, boop, John Crippo and Marlena Hebron, they're the real deal. Like, they are excited and passionate about the things they're sharing. I mean, and I think what makes them so excited and passionate about the things they're sharing is the fact that it works for them and it works well for them. And then they've tried it in their districts. Like, if you read their bios, they both have been in positions in which they've been able to sort of share these ideas internally with their districts, and it's worked there. And then they wrote their books. Well, they wrote the first book, and it started to work in many, many classrooms across the United States and probably the world. And they're just passionate about sharing this with you guys. So hopefully you've been able to check out their session from yesterday. And on top of that, hopefully you've checked out their book. I don't mean to give a plug, but it's nice. It's filled with some nice tools you guys can use, some nice takeaways. Really every chapter is a takeaway, because that's the whole idea behind the protocols. They're ways you can run your class, ways you can do your class. So that just makes it super usable. There isn't a ton in there about theory. So if you're one of those people that want sort of proof of why it works, statistical difference why it works, that's not the book you're looking for. However, if you're a teacher that's like looking for strategies that by and large work in most grade levels, in most schools, it doesn't really matter if you're one-to-one or not for most part. So if you're really just looking for usable strategies, definitely check out their book. Let's see who we got here. We got some more people. Craig joined us. Nice seeing you, Craig. Glad that you made it from California. That's early over there. I mean, you are early riser. Kyle from the other side of the United States. Good morning. Super glad you made it back. Mr. Taft, first time he's here. Nice to see you. Both books are great, versatile, easy to incorporate in the classroom, and fun. I agree. I had the first one, and when I asked them to come on to the Hive Summit, John actually nicely sent me a copy of the second one, and I've been reading through that. I have to admit, I have not had much time to read in the midst of and getting prepared for the Hive Summit. It has taken kind of every bit of my free time, but I look forward to sort of thumbing through that second book. I got to imagine it's just as good as the first. Let's see what Kathy Sue says here. I've enjoyed sketchnoting the presentations. Lots of takeaways for me. I have loved your sketch notes too. I think it's so amazing, sort of the creativity to pour those ideas down on paper like that. Just some of them are so great. Craig, I agree. I love that you don't have to read the book cover to cover, and that's so nice because each chapter really is just a new protocol. So you could stop after chapter 1 and be like, I'm going to do this, and then go do it, and then you're like, well, that worked, and then read chapter 2. You could read chapter 2 and say, that doesn't sound like me. I don't like it, or whatever. Move on to chapter 3, and then use that. I dig it. Craig says his internal alarm clock is what's the time for teacher's table. I dig it. Morning, Jamie. Super excited to have you. Welcome to the table. That's awesome that you're here. Austin, beautiful city. I got to go there last summer before all this craziness happened. Well, welcome. All right, so question I have to sort of start us off is not exactly about edu protocols. I'm going to sort of zoom out a little bit. And this idea of a protocol in general, right? The idea of a protocol is sort of something that you could kind of run, a sequence you could run. And once that protocol happens, like typically you've designed a protocol because it works. So I wanted to ask all of you, what are some protocols you have in your classroom? And they do not have to be the edu protocols like from their book. Just what are some things you do that work? Could be an assignment, could be like a rule, could be bathroom pass, which I gotta tell you, I don't even know how that's gonna work this coming year. But I'd love to hear what are some protocols you have. Again, could be for a project, could be for anything. What are some sort of systems you've put in place to make things run a little smoother? Deborah, good morning. Glad to see you here. I agree, Craig. When you read the book, if you read the book and watch the session, they're like the same. They are the same people, but I mean, they definitely write like they are, and you feel it for sure. Kyle saying he has picked them up but hasn't had a chance to read them yet. Looking forward to reading them and catching up with the Hive 2. Bit busy the past couple days. Totally understand, oh man. Summer. Thomas is here. Thomas, thanks for the sort of comment on the sort of beautiful lake view yesterday. It was gorgeous. It kind of made it look Caribbean. So I'm like, I am going to shoot by the lake today for sure. Thomas tweeted me the other day. He's like, what slice of paradise are you filming at right now? And it's just my hometown. Craig, sorry to make you think about bathroom protocols, but I am curious. This is the thing. Teachers build these protocols into their day so that things run smoothly. So it's one less decision they had to think about. I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I am still curious. What are your guys' protocols? What are things you do? What are little tips, little hacks, little things that maybe we could all steal? Let's see here. They have to highlight their name on the paper in the class color before turning it in. I have about 2 no-name papers in the last 5 years. Nice hack. Right? Just that extra thing, like have you highlighted it? Well, highlight what? Your name. Oh, that's right. I better put my name. I dig that one. That's a nice one. Regina, let's hear from you. I have a red bin where everything goes for turn-in. It really cuts down on lost papers. When new kids come in, my students all chime in. Put it in the red bin. I love it. Monica's here talking about A big thanks to Monica for her 3rd year of sketchnoting every single Hive Summit video. Again, thank you so much. So glad that you're here. See what Craig says. I always have papers coming in through our in-out mailboxes so that they never get turned in to a pile. That's nice. Little in-out system. I dig it. Ooh, Angie, good point. I sort of skipped over that detail. If every class has a different color, that's nice. Makes it easy to think of which papers should go in which pile when you're grading them, for sure. See what Kyle's got. In the morning, when students first arrive in the morning, we walk through the routine a few times. How they come in, a few minutes to socialize, then to bell work and opening share out. You make a really good reminder to all of us. We're about to begin our year, and the beginning of the year is nothing like, well, for sure nothing like at the end of last year, because we do have to sort of walk through what are our new protocols to these kids, because they're new students. So I always try to remind myself that, to be honest, before I launch anything, before I launch a unit, before I launch the year, just that deep breath and tell myself, this is their first time in 6th grade. This is their first time in 6th grade world history. So even though I might use a unit I used last year, like, it's their first year on that one. It's a good reminder that we have to double our efforts here in the beginning to teach them our protocols too there, Kyle. Amanda, I use QR codes a lot. I link them to Google Forms for easy collection. Want to check out materials? QR code. Want to request a karaoke song? QR code. I dig it. That's awesome. If you haven't done so, QR codes, while it seems like this kind of older bit of technology, they've really, like, with things like Google Forms and stuff, have really come into their own in terms of collecting data and using that, or sending people. I don't know if Chuck's still here, but he does a lesson using QR codes. Actually, I'm sure he uses lessons, but I'm thinking of your Vietnam one. That's fantastic. Jennifer, super glad you made it. Welcome back. You've been here before. Let's see what we have here. I have this up on the board when kids come in the first day, and it's on my webpage too, and it's the overall theme of the class. It's simple, but it sets the tone for what to expect. That's nice. I've seen a lot of people write sort of today's standards or today's goals. I think that can be really helpful to sort of focus and zero in what we're going to do today. I will admit I don't do that because I absolutely love surprise. But again, I see its value for sure. That's just not my style. But I hope that's all right. Mr. Matera, our class motto is "Life's not fair, but we try." I dig it. Good thing to remember. Yeah, right. So I think this is more important. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer Knox, but I think this is more important the younger you get, right, in terms of the students you teach. That he says, absolutely, Mr. Matera, I forgot that they're really end of the year 5th graders. So as a 6th grade teacher, it's a little this weird thing where at the end of last year, I kind of had almost 7th graders, right? But that was my last version of a 6th grader. And then you turn around and you start to teach this year's 6th graders, and you're like, that's not where I left off, right? And so you almost have to readjust that they're really sort of the end of 5th graders, right? They're fresh 6th grade. And it's going to take a bit to hit the stride. But I think that gets exacerbated as you go down the grade levels. I could be wrong. Jennifer says, I've had success with QR codes linked to a Google form to sign out for restroom, office, etc. That's really good. Keep track of that. Angie has one here to share. We sit at tables. One person gets journals, one gets pens, one gets the paper for the day, if there is one. That way, there are only 5 people getting things and not everything. I like that, splitting it up. Ooh, Mr. Taft's biggest protocol, consistently pointing out my huge banner that says, why does this matter? I gotta tell you, I've been in Chuck's classroom. I work with Chuck, fantastic guy. When he says big banner, I mean, it could be like an outside of a car dealership banner. I mean, it is big, and it just says that. Why does this matter? And I've watched Chuck teach. He definitely points it out every day I've been in there. So he's not lying that it's daily. Monica, whatever I want them to do, I have a visual checklist. Works for littles and bigs. I dig that, especially with the talents you have, right? I think it would be great to have sort of your art style in terms of what they have to do today. That would be fantastic. Our second motto is karma is a, is a belief. I don't know why, but it helps. That's awesome. Deborah says, I have students rate themselves on a scale showing where they are in their window of stress tolerance. They put their initials on a scale and it allows me to meet each other where we are. That's nice. And that's a little bit of that social emotional, right? That like you're understanding that you're not just this content teacher, right? That I'm not just worried about world history. You also are trying to like meet their needs of where they're at and recognizing that my world history isn't going to go well if they're not ready to hear it. So kind of understanding where everybody's at and just that empathetic moment of even asking, Deborah, I think probably alleviates some of the stress in your class because it shows you care. And then as I always say too, when you're going to ask questions like that, the more you can try to show that you're actually using that data, the better, right? It's nice to ask. It's extra nice when kids feel sort of recognized by what they share. Buzz Hive Master giving us a clue here. I love using digital breakouts. They become protocols for how kids approach problem solving. I love it. Buzz Hive Master, the orchestrator of the entire Hive Summit breakout. If you haven't checked them out, they're great. Chuck Taft has put that together, just like Monica doing 3 years of sketchnoting. Chuck has done all of our breakouts year over year, and he is the master at making breakouts. Let's see, Natalia says, my routine was guided meditation, copy homework on my journal, and start the class. Each 45 minutes, I had an active pause, parentheses, games. You know, I love really everything about that comment. Taking a moment is huge. Taking a breather, especially, we teach in block in our school, so I don't have every kid for 45 minutes, but when we did teach 45-minute sessions, I will say it felt fast. I mean, it felt like, ooh, we're going. And when teachers have that pace of we're going, when we're frantic, we're sort of the conductors of the class. So that means our entire symphony out there is going. And then they leave our class and go to the next class. So I love taking that breather. And if you teach block, just recognize that you're sort of the conductor. You're setting the pace of your class. So, you know, think about how you're coming off. Not necessarily the words you're saying, not the lesson you're delivering. I'm going to assume you're talented on that. But what's just the overall pace? What's your nonverbals that you're demonstrating? Let's see here. Oh, Jennifer Knox doubling back on that. You are correct about the ages and stages of students. It's important at all levels. All right. See what Adam says. Adam says to Kyle and I taught 5th through 8th grade drama. I love being the teacher the students had through all of middle school. 6th through 8th graders knew what to expect and could jump right in. So I think that's a huge plus there, Adam, for anybody that does looping or, you know, any program that's multi-age. that there is. I could totally see that benefit being friends with Adam. I definitely heard kind of year over year where I was sort of frustrated at like teaching the protocols, teaching how my class run and how much time that took every year, where he was like, oh really, like we're already, like I already have my kids doing these exercises, doing this, doing that, and I was like, so there would be a benefit, I think, to that for sure. Kathy Sue here. I really take the time to design individual learning plans with students. Goals are created from these. Once a week, I ask students to take out their plans to review it. As somebody that loves goal setting and sort of this idea of, setting a vision for what you want, well, like, again, a dream is good, but like taking action steps towards that dream is what's going to make it a reality. So I love that you took the time with your students to do that. That's fantastic. Let's see. Always try to use platforms the kids are currently into, like having them use TikTok to do imperialism research presentations. They loved it. And, anytime you can show that's a relational moment opportunity here for you. Use TikTok. Connect to some of the TV shows they're talking about. Connect to some of the games they're playing. Anytime you can do that, anytime you can contextualize your current learning into a more modern, hip sort of situation, the better off we are. In my online class, we would take TikTok breaks. So we doing this video lesson like this, and then I would put up a little like screen that would say TikTok moment, and all the kids had to do like a little quick dance. Whether it was a TikTok dance or not didn't matter. It was really just a nice, fun brain break. But instead of just calling it like a brain break, a movement break, calling it a little TikTok moment was kind of extra special for them. Jennifer said, I have become a huge fan of collaborative game style content learning. The breakout style activities get students to research for themselves instead of waiting for me to spoon feed them answers. Yes, this is what I love in general about gamification. When we start to train kids that it is about growth, that it is about unlocking possibilities, and it could be specifically breakout style where you're literally unlocking. But I tell you, if you train your students to be a gamer mindset in your class with things like gamification, they start to approach regular, non-dressed up, non-breakout moments with that same breakout philosophy, that they are empowered as learners to sort of explore, learn, adapt, and grow, and it is very exciting to see. But just like any pedagogy, it takes time. Like, I'm not saying you're going to do one gamified activity and you're going to see all that happen. You got to create a mindset with them. But if you choose to really infuse game mechanics into your class, you can see that sort of breakout student in even non-breakout situations. Let's see, Adam. Start every class with a quote of the day. I do that as well. The first quote of the year: we cannot become what we need to by remaining what we are. Max Tapir, another year older and wiser. That's awesome, because again, you get the students year after year. So having them write that quote 4 times or 3 times is pretty amazing. I love it. Jennifer Knox giving a nice shout out to Buzz Hive Master. Love it. You guys really should check out these clues this year. They're fantastic. I would love to see the confetti today. That would be awesome. You guys just got to hit that like button. We're at 19. Nice, Jennifer, making fun of me for my use of the word hip. That's awesome. All right, so these are all wonderful ideas in terms of protocols used. I know we only have a few minutes left. We really got into the weeds on just our general protocols. If we could, for a moment, turn a little bit to the Edu protocols. They shared 4 wonderful strategies. Their book shares many more. I'm curious if any of those protocols were ones that just you were like, yes, I'm going to use that protocol right away. Did any of you go download the templates that were shared on the speaker page, or did any of you like instantly say like, I'm buying the book because I want to do those protocols? For me, I already had the book, so I can't say that. But speaking with them, I will say, like anything, we're as educators, we're so good at like we're intellectual pack rats. We grab everything, all these ideas, and grab them. But like, I definitely want to be much more like that curator of a museum. I want to grab these ideas so that I can use them, so I can put them on display. And listening to them, it helped me remember to be more that collector as opposed to a pack rat, right? Because hearing them, I've owned the first Edu Protocols book since it first came out, but I will say, I then try some other strategies, try some other things, and I hadn't like doubled back. So I am very excited to get back in the classroom this year and use some of their protocols for sure. Let's see, Monica here has an answer here. She says she has both protocols booked. I'm adapting them for my little learners. 8 parts, 4 numbers for sure at the beginning. I love it. Kelly says, I bought both books and I am a quarter of the way through book 1 already and been brainstorming ideas for my G4 colleague today. That's awesome. I love it. Good pickup too. Craig, just like me, already had both books. Going to try to implement some of the protocols into class this year. Book talks a lot about smart starts that helps to set up for the year. That's true. I should give that another look. I'm going to share the number mania and random emoji power paragraph with new teachers I work with. I think these will work well in CTE classes for technical writing. I loved the random emoji paragraph. I thought that was fantastic, and I think I'm going to try to use it as well in my classes. I might augment it a little bit about what they're writing, but this idea that emoji comes up, if I pair it with sort of a world history figure, maybe even, to be honest, like maybe even a geographical location, that they'd have to like then kind of describe what's happening around it based on that sort of feeling. I love it. This is it was a really good session, and it really reminded me about doing these protocols. I will say, John laid the gauntlet to all of us. He said, if you were truly an edu protocol guru, you could be smoothly transitioning up to 4 protocols in one class period. That is crazy sauce to me. I have never come close to doing that. I can see how it's possible, but like, holy cow, was that a bit of a, like, usually for me, I run the one protocol. That's what I'm doing today. And between the other things you build in, like we talked about, I do quote of the day, maybe you have a brain break in my long class. And then like we do this activity, we watch a bit of a, segment of some video, and boom, like the class is over. I would like to add 4 protocols in one day. Seems crazy sauce, but again, I can see how you can do it. But wow, did he lay that gauntlet down? I don't know if any of you guys are going to be able to achieve that or not, but we should try. We should try. All right, for those of you that are watching, I want to jump back here for a sec and go to our calendar. Boop. Scroll down to, here we are. So today we have Bridging Literacy by Bridget Spackman. Super awesome session, especially if you teach younger grades. But as always, there's a nugget to be had in all of these for any teacher. Here we are at the morning teacher's table. So the rest of the day, we don't have any new content coming out, but August 9th, we have our morning teacher's table where we'll talk about Bridget's session, and then we'll do a game night tomorrow evening So hopefully you can make it. That's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So great for you West Coasters. A little late for everyone else. So, but hopefully some of you guys can make it to game night. It'll be a fun time. And then we'll start into our second week of Hive Summit, and we'll take it from there. So hopefully you guys can still make it to some of those things. I'd love to see you guys play the game with us on Sunday night. It was so fun. I did a game night for another conference I was facilitating. I was keynoting Alaska's conference, and it was so fun. We had 54 people show up to the game night I ran for them, and such a blast to have that many people come and share and come around that table and just have a joyous moment together. And you guys that follow my YouTube channel know that I'm all about finding that joy in the journey, both in class and out of class. Let's see, we got, before we sign off, any others at me? Kathy Sue says, love John's quote about teaching human children. That made me laugh as well, but a good thing for us to remind ourselves about. Kyle, laugh a lot. I'll do my best to try to stay up late, still be able to function. Kyle, being East Coast time, that's going to be a tough one. Jennifer, what she says, in my first year of teaching, I learned that using music, color, images, movement helped cement learning. Brain science. The Edu Protocols ideas work because they incorporate all of these. So true. Thank you all. Naps are good. Alaska represent. It was awesome. I was super proud of them for all showing up and trying something new, because lots of people don't play games, and then they think, I don't want to come. I don't play games. We all are gamers. You just haven't sat at the table yet, or in a while. Do it. Kelly, thank you so much. It's a labor of love. I absolutely love putting on the Hive Summit. I'm so happy it's connected with you and resonated with you. Little challenge to anybody out there. It's the weekend. This would be a great time to look at one of those recipe cards or one of the Busy Bee recipe videos and try to make one of them. I made the Busy Bee pizza recipe yesterday. It was delicious. So definitely try some of those out. All right, guys, it is 8:32. That means we're 2 minutes over. I gave you 2 minutes bonus content there. Hopefully you liked it. All right, everybody, take care and have a good rest of your day. I hope to see you tomorrow morning. Let's get a confetti party tomorrow. Our goal is 25 tomorrow. We can do it. All right, everybody, take care.